Hey guys, this is David, and today I will be discussing the latest Marvel Legends figure to come out as a Walgreens exclusive, just being released last week via the Walgreens website, and that is this character of the Sentry. If you are not familiar with the Sentry, this is a character that was created in the year 2000, right before I was starting college that summer, by Paul Jenkins, and he was a character that was used extensively by Brian Michael Bendis in sometimes terrible ways, but this is the Golden Guardian of Good, the Sentry. You might recognize him even if you don't read comic books, just because this will be his fourth Marvel Legends action figure. Toy Biz did a figure of him just, towards the end of the run, like in 2003, 2004-ish. They actually did two versions of the Sentry, one with and one without a beard. Not their best figures, but that was part of the Giant Man series. And then Hasbro also did a figure of the Sentry a few years ago in that Thor All-Father series, where you could also build either Thor or Odin. So here's the Sentry back again for his fourth version. He has the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns, but his true greatest characteristic is the fact that he has one of the most convoluted and fucked up backstories of any major Marvel hero, in that he, although he is immensely powerful like Superman with the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns, he also has mental illness, and he has an alternate self, the Void, who is a force of death and destruction itself. And that's sort of represented for the first time ever with this figure, because he's going to come with this alternate Void head. I think the Void is kind of worthy of a deluxe figure of his own, but Hasbro has decided to just give us this alternate head. So I'm going to rip open this dollar store modern plastic-free Hasbro packaging here to see what's inside. Hopefully you've seen me moving this box around so you can see what the box itself looked like for the Sentry prior to me opening this up. I think another accessory that could have been cool for the Sentry would have been a bisected Ares, just with some brains and internal heart and organs and stuff like that, from when the Sentry during Dark Reign just ripped Ares in half from head to toe. But obviously that's a bit too gory for Hasbro at mass retail. So there's two things here in this package. We've got our crouton paper packaging here, similar to what you would get from Panera. And inside of this, we find our action figure of the Sentry, who I'll talk about in just a minute. Let me see if I can get him to just stand up for me while I open up the other little paper. Nope, his ankle rockers might be turned a bit too much for him to just stand without me posing him. Stay. All right, so in this baggie, we're going to find his accessories, which, as I looked at the package, included a pair of alternate grappling hands so that he can grab your other Marvel Legends figures and rip them apart from head to toe, as well as this super cool flaming skull head of the Void that you will be able to swap onto his body. And let me just get the hands out. I see that he fell over, but there's nothing I can do about that at this particular moment. All right, so now I've got the Sentry here in my hands. He's got this cool windswept hair, which is sort of awkward in that his hair is super windy and windswept because he's flying along or he's striking a dynamic pose, but his cape is totally flat, so that's sort of awkward, but that is what it is. There's a sort of illuminating glow upon his belt. I think that that's sort of neat. I like the paint effect of that. You'll notice that he still has pinned double jointed elbows and also pinned double jointed knees, which is a bit of a disappointment since we've already gotten this oh my god, this is super gummy. We've already gotten this figure, in the last 5 years with pins, so I thought that if they were going to do another version of this character, that Hasbro might give us a new pinless version, but in fact we're not. So let me grab his head here. His eyes are whited out, as if he is, getting ready to exercise his energy, do some eye blasts, something like that. I'm not actually sure if he can do eye blasts, but the Sentry has 1,000,000 powers, so what the hell, why not? Let me see if I can get his skull head on here. Let's see, his cape is not pegged in, but it is actually just part of this overlay that's going onto his chest here. So his cape is definitely not going to fall off, unlike the one from that Odin All-Father Thor series from a couple of years ago. I'm still going to be fighting with his head to try to get it on. It is not an easy put on. Nope, still not on. Sorry there. Now it's popped. That was a nice strong pop, so this head is not going to be falling off or going anywhere, but I will be adding some high-res photos from the natural element with nice lighting so you can see both heads on the Sentry. Here's his Void head. I don't know how many people are going to display just this Flaming Skull Void head, but like it was an interesting thing for Hasbro to include here, and I'm not going to complain about it. Let me pop out those fists, and then we can have these grappling hands. This is almost a trigger finger for some reason. I'm not sure why the Sentry would need a trigger finger hand, in that I don't think he's ever handled a gun ever, and that he has no reason to, because he is probably in the upper echelon of the most powerful characters in the whole Marvel comic book universe. These are the hands that have a hinge at the bottom, which is sort of interesting. So here's the Sentry with his grappling hands and Void head. I like the illumination on the belt. I kind of wish that the cape was a little bit more firm, but like I understand that because it goes back, it's going to help him to pose. His yellow plastic and even this blue plastic feels super cheap and gummy, which I'm not thrilled with. This is not a figure you'll really be able to display in the package, just because the package does not have a window and you can't really see him on it. There's no bio or anything like that on there. I like the way he looks dramatically on the box art here on the side, where his face is kind of blacked out. I think that might have been an interesting approach, like for an alternate head, but instead we got the Void head, which is also kind of neat. I don't like the quality control on this. The gumminess is definitely not what I anticipated. I think the Void head is cool, but kind of a weak thing. If we were just going to get the Void head, I think we could have gotten some more parts, or, you know, a separate Void figure, something else to represent the Void, although I did want the Void to be represented. But here is the Sentry. He's got hips. He does not have any butterfly shoulders, as you might have imagined. He has pinned knees. He has pinned elbows. I like the paint on his belt, but like overall, this is not a huge upgrade. If you're missing the Sentry in your collection, he's available now from Walgreens, and I really like this character, so like I'm happy to have a new version of him, but you might not want this new version of the Sentry unless you're a huge fan or lacking him in your collection. And that is about all I have to say about Sentry. I will mess around with, you know, taking lots of photos of him with both heads and do my formal video review on marvel20news.com. If you got any questions, leave me a comment, a question, whatever. But that is what I have to say about this new Walgreens exclusive Marvel Legends figure of the Sentry, sometimes with Void head, sometimes without. Okay, have a great day.